So there is one particular question that has been bothering me, and I've been wondering a lot about ever since I grew up and I started working. And that is the question: if we have only one life, why are we being enslaved in the world we live right now? But not everybody thinks that way. You know, some people can go and say, well, we're not enslaved. We choose what we do, right? We go, we wake up, we work, and then we get to do what we like, right? This is what some people believe, but if we go deeper, we can actually understand that we don't have a choice here. And how is that? Well, we don't have a choice because if we don't do what we are told, what everybody else does, the way the world works, we're as good as dead, pretty much. Or you cannot survive like this. And when I say enslaved, like I can see that working somewhere for somebody, doing something is, well, it is as good as slavery. Long years ago in the past, we all know that there has been slaves, people that work, and they've been given just enough food while working, while being beaten up, or maybe not even given food and just forced to work or build something up until they just disappear. Well, it is not like this right now, thankfully, but I don't really see it changed, to be honest. Right now, if anything, it's absolutely the same. Except being completely forced to work up until death, which actually this is also the case. If you, in a way, if you think about it, because what happens if you stop working? Nowadays, you cannot survive. Now, let's try to digest this a little bit. So, current state of the world and slavery. You are told as a child that you're when you grow up you go to work. When you're young you go to school, and your parents go to work every morning. You go to school, and you're being told in school as well what to do, how to behave, in depending on the situation, depending what you do. And if you don't play by the rules, you're told that is bad, and you're told to do the right thing. You're told that you gotta go to find your workplace, but before that you gotta learn something. You gotta choose your path, what you want to learn, and then you can become part of something, even though you can straight up say it, then you can become a slave to a corporation. That's straight up it. So school is preparing you to become a workhorse of somebody. And you know, now that we talk about school, I'm really when I go back in time, when I think about the past, you know, they really do teach you how to become a worker, slave. But somebody can say, "Hey, wait a second. You know, you can become a boss. You can make your own company." But wait, who told you that? I didn't hear that in school ever. Nobody told me how to become how to open my own business, how to make my own corporation, stuff like that. They all told me how to become a worker, somebody, and then well, have fun. You know, it's up to you, right? We've been hearing this a lot. It's up to you at a certain point. So that has to be straightforward, I guess. But it's not. It's not. It's really not. It's really not. You know, no matter where you are, you really don't have a choice but just work for somebody. Again, unless you make a company, if you can. But even up until then, you gotta be slave somewhere. And again, there is no choice, but we can say how is that cannot be. Like, we live in a free world, right? We live in a free world. We have a free will. Yeah, sure, we have a free will. What if one decides to take a different route and not becoming a slave? He decides just sit, maybe, I don't know, play games all day, but not working. Somebody decides to not work. Now, we already know what that means. More or less, everybody of us has felt what it could be. It means there is no income, but you have to pay the bills, you have to pay for your food, you know. And nowadays we have a bunch of other things we have to pay for. Not to mention that we need to buy clothes, shoes, and stuff like this for the seasons. So if you don't work, there is no money. If there is no money, there is no survival. And this is how, you know, every single country is enforcing every single person living to be a slave. Otherwise, I mean, the freedom costs. Your freedom costs something, costs your life. I think we've all seen homeless people, unfortunately. I believe a lot of them have taken similar path. Not all, but some of them has taken similar path, and yeah, you see what the situation there is. So it is quiet enforcement, and if you question it, you can, as you can see, everybody will tell you different. No, we are free. No, we're free. We can choose. We can choose to work or not to work. But it's not really like this. There is no choice, really. Everything, even making a company, you have to start from somewhere. So again, not only that, but we have taxes everywhere. Every country has taxes. Now, I want to avoid that a little bit. I don't want to go that deep into the taxes part, but everything you earn, you also owe to your country. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Maybe some of you doesn't. But you can look it up. I don't want to go that deep into that specific topic. But yeah, that is a thing as well. So then again, if we have one life, why are we being enslaved? Because even since a child, we start asking our parents, but what is this? What is that? What happens when we die? Depending on the parents, they tell you, well, you die and then you go to the sky. If you're bad, you go, down below the earth. But if you're good, you go up in the sky. And we have a lot of other variations. Again, I'm not gonna say all of them. But either way, we know that we disappear right from here. We are not here forever. And we are being told that. We're being told this in school. Even they tell us, be careful what you do, be careful with your friends, be careful where you walk, be careful at what time you go outside. Don't go outside when it's late night, it's dangerous. You have to be careful with your life, stuff like that. You have only one life, you gotta protect it, stuff like this. But then again, if it's this, why are we being enslaved by corporations? And it's not like we don't see the problems that brings, because you go to work for somebody, yeah, that can be completely okay for some, but we can go a layer deeper. And what do we do when we work for somebody? We work for somebody, we build somebody else's dream, and we all have dreams. And we already know, like, the amount you receive for being a slave of somebody is limited. It's carefully calculated. And it's carefully calculated so the corporation, the company, can be okay. It's not about you. It's not about us being okay. You know how it is, paying rent and paying the bills, paying everything else, or even growing up a child with one salary. How many of your dreams can you achieve if you have that? But they say it's completely okay. It's completely okay to work for somebody, a corporation that somebody made. And you're giving your life so that somebody can have an easier time collecting and growing their own dream while you cannot even begin to work towards yours. Because nowadays, what you want requires always income, and it's almost always a lot more than you already earn, especially if you're on average paid job with average salary, which a lot of us are. And then again, being enslaved, by the time we leave on, some people want to maybe change country, maybe some people want to buy house, a better place, move somewhere, maybe go rest, see the world around, take a break, buy something that they want. But we know that this is just most of the time fairy tale for the people who have just a regular job and they just work for somebody. But again, somebody can say, well, you gotta do your own dreams, you gotta work for it, stuff like this. Yeah, sure. That is true. You gotta work for it. That is true. But is it certain that is going to happen? You can work really hard on something, but on average salary, how much money can you stack aside? And once you stack enough, after say a few months, year or two, then you can have finally the amount maybe to go to visit another country for a few days and then come back, and then you're back to normal, and you're just back to normal from where you were a year ago. No savings, or maybe you learn something, maybe you pick up some skill. I don't know, maybe you become an engineer, an artist, musicians. That is a good thing. Learn some skill. And now it's up to you again to find your place. Okay, cool. You finished this school, and now you are ready, right? You can just go and dominate. That's how it works, right? But it is absolutely not certain. Now it's again up to you to find your place. Where do you go? You have a grade now. You have a skill. You're good at something, but somehow it doesn't bring you money. Again, you gotta find the place. Turns out you have to be a slave again for somebody. or you can try to do something on your own. But how does that work? Do something on your own. Again, we have a choice. We have a choice to make. We can do something on our own. If you are an artist, maybe sell your stuff to somebody, right? That has to be easy. Or if you're a musician, you can again promote your music out there. That's easy, right? It is unfortunately as miserable as it is to work for somebody most of the time. And you try this. Of course you gotta try this. If you have these skills, try something on your own, build your own business maybe. But again, we don't see everybody being that successful, right? Not everybody that is picking up a skill is successful. The truth is, very few succeed. And you try this for a year, 2, 3, maybe you're lucky to have a place. Maybe you stay with your parents. You try really hard to make your own business with the skills you have, but it's not sustainable. It doesn't bring you anything. All you see is just giving and receiving nothing. So then again you realize you can still be a slave to somebody, right? But we still have a choice, right? We can do anything we like, and it certainly will work, right? That is something that has been really bothering me, and I really can't go through. And yeah, I don't have an answer to that. Why, if we have one life, we're forced to be enslaved? And quietly, on top of that, the system is made so clever that when you start asking these questions, immediately somebody can come up and tell you, no, it's not like this, it's all about you. I mean, it's your fault, you didn't do it, it is your fault, you're free, it's your fault for not succeeding, for not becoming big, but at the end of the day we just follow rules that are quietly enforced. And the things we see around, success we see around, who is telling us how that happened? Who is telling us for real how that happened? So that brings us to the conclusion. Does anyone actually care about the fact that we have one single life? Or is they just care about maintaining balance of the current world, and just using people as a resource in order for something to maintain is our only one life actually meaningful for somebody? There is no answer to that.